The sirens were already screaming by the time he skidded to a stop. Ethan Cole didn't remember turning the wheel or slamming the brakes. His body had moved before his mind caught up. 1 second he was driving home after a 24-hour shift, eyelids heavy, coffee cold in the cup holder. The next, a column of black smoke was clawing at the sky ahead, thick and angry, blotting out the late afternoon sun. Fire. He killed the engine, grabbed his jacket, and ran. The apartment building was old, too old to be burning this fast. Flames licked out of shattered windows on the second and third floors, glass popping like gunfire. People crowded the street, some crying, some shouting names, others frozen in stunned silence. A woman collapsed to her knees, screaming for her kids. Somewhere inside, alarms wailed, a shrill, panicked sound that cut straight through him. Ethan shoved through the crowd, already pulling his hood up, instinct taking over. He wasn't on duty. No turnout gear, no mask. Just a tired firefighter with smoke filling his lungs before he even reached the entrance. "Don't go in there," someone yelled. He ignored it. The heat hit him like a wall as soon as he crossed the threshold. The hallway was a tunnel of smoke and fire, paint peeling off the walls, ceiling crackling ominously. He wrapped his jacket around his mouth and nose, crouching low as he moved forward. "Fire department," he shouted, his voice hoarse. "If you can hear me, call out." A cough answered him from the left. Ethan followed the sound, heart hammering. An elderly man lay slumped against the wall, eyes wide with terror, legs twisted awkwardly. I can't get up," the man rasped. "I've got you," Ethan said, forcing calm into his voice. He hauled the man up, slinging an arm around his shoulders, half dragging, half carrying him back the way he came. Flames roared overhead, a beam crashing down just seconds after they cleared the doorway. Outside, paramedics rushed in, pulling the man from Ethan's arms. "Anyone else?" one of them shouted. Ethan was already turning back. The building groaned, a deep, ominous sound that vibrated through his bones. He took the stairs 2 at a time, guided by instinct and faint cries. On the second floor, smoke was so thick he could barely see his own hands. He crawled, sweeping his arms out in front of him. That's when he heard it. A child. Not crying, whimpering. Small. Weak. "Hey," he called softly, panic spiking. "I'm here. I need you to make noise, okay?" The sound came again, from behind a door at the end of the hall. The wood was hot under his palm as he pushed it open. Inside, flames chewed through the curtains, climbing the walls. On the floor, beneath a window, 2 kids huddled together, a boy maybe 8 years old, shielding a girl who couldn't have been more than 5. Their eyes locked on him, terror giving way to fragile hope. "It's okay," Ethan said. "I'm going to get you out." He scooped the little girl up first, then grabbed the boy's hand. The smoke burned his lungs with every breath, but he kept moving, 1 step at a time, mind focused on nothing except the exit. Halfway down the stairs, something exploded above them. The shockwave knocked him off his feet. He hit the ground hard, pain flaring up his side, the air driven from his lungs. The kid screamed. "I'm okay," he lied, forcing himself up. "Stay with me." The stairwell was no longer safe. Fire poured down from above, blocking their path. Ethan scanned his options, chest tightening. A window. He dragged them into a nearby apartment, coughing violently. The fire had just started to breach this unit, smoke curling along the ceiling. He smashed the window with a chair, glass raining down to the street below. Fire trucks had arrived now, ladders extending. Upward. "Look at me," he told the boy. "I need you to climb down first. They'll catch you." The boy hesitated, tears streaking his soot-covered face. "You're brave," Ethan said. "I promise." The boy nodded, scrambling onto the ladder with a firefighter guiding him down. Ethan handed the girl next, her tiny arms wrapping around his neck for a split second longer than necessary. "Don't leave me," she whispered. "I won't," he said. But the second she was safe, the floor beneath Ethan's feet gave way. He fell. The world turned into heat and darkness and pain. He landed hard, something sharp slicing across his arm. Fire surrounded him now, roaring so loud it drowned out thought. He crawled, lungs screaming, vision swimming. The exit was there, so close, but his body refused to cooperate. He collapsed. Ethan woke up to white. The beeping came first, slow and steady. Then the smell of antiseptic. His eyes fluttered open, light stabbing into his skull. Hospital. He turned his head and immediately regretted it. Pain rippled through his ribs, down his arm, across his back. His throat was raw, each breath shallow. "You're awake," a voice said softly. He looked toward the sound. She stood near the window, arms crossed tightly over her chest, dark hair pulled into a messy knot. Her eyes were red-rimmed, but focused, sharp in a way that suggested she didn't miss much. "Who?" he croaked. "Easy," she said, stepping closer. "I'm Lena. I'm the kid's aunt." Memory snapped into place. The children. The fire. "They're okay?" he asked, panic surging. "They're safe," she said quickly. "Thanks to you." Relief hit him so hard it made him dizzy. He sank back into the pillow, eyes closing briefly. "They wouldn't stop asking about you," Lena continued. "I told them you were strong. That you'd be fine." He let out a weak huff of a laugh. "You lied." Her lips twitched despite herself. "Maybe a little." Silence settled between them, heavy but not uncomfortable. Ethan studied her when he thought she wasn't looking. The exhaustion in her posture, the way her fingers twisted together like she was holding herself upright through sheer will. "You saved my family," she said finally, voice breaking. "I don't even know how to thank you." "You don't have to," Ethan replied. "It's my job." She shook her head. "You weren't on duty." He met her gaze then, something unspoken passing between them. He looked away first. The days that followed blurred together, doctors, nurses, physical therapists. Second-degree burns. Broken ribs. Smoke inhalation. He'd heal, they said, but it would take time. Lena came back the next day. And the next. Sometimes she brought coffee. Sometimes drawings from the kids, crayon stick figures labeled, hero. She sat and talked, filling the quiet with stories about her sister, about how she'd taken the kids in after the accident 2 years ago. About working 2 jobs, about trying to keep life steady when everything felt like it might tip over. Ethan listened. He didn't talk much about himself. He never did. On the 5th day, she caught him staring out the window, jaw tight. "What's going on in that head of yours?" she asked. "I should have been faster," he said quietly. "The building shouldn't have gotten that bad." "You saved them," she said firmly. "I almost didn't." She leaned forward, resting her elbows on the bed. "But you did. And they're alive because of you. Don't punish yourself for what didn't happen." Her words hit somewhere deep, somewhere raw. He nodded once, swallowing hard. When he was discharged, Lena was there to drive him home. "You don't have to," he protested weakly. "I want to," she said, already helping him into the car. "And you're in no shape to argue." His apartment was small, clean in the way of someone who didn't spend much time there. She helped him settle on the couch, fussing despite his protests. "I can manage," he said. "I know," she replied. "Humor me." They fell into an easy rhythm after that. She stopped by to check on him. He helped the kids with homework once he could stand for longer than a few minutes. Laughter returned to her voice slowly, like something thawing out after a long winter. One evening, as they sat watching the kids play on the floor, Lena spoke without looking at him. "I was there," she said softly. "The night of the fire." He turned toward her. "Outside. I ran in," she admitted. "I couldn't find them. The smoke, I panicked." "You did what any parent would do," he said. "I froze," she whispered. "And you didn't." Ethan considered his words carefully. "I was scared too." She finally looked at him then, eyes shining. "You don't act like it." He smiled faintly. "That's the trick." Something shifted between them in that moment. Not loud, not dramatic, just a quiet understanding. Weeks passed. Ethan healed. Life edged toward normal. But something had changed. One night, after the kids were asleep, Lena stood on his balcony, city lights reflecting in her eyes. "I've been thinking," she said, "about how strange it is. One terrible day, and everything after it is different." He leaned against the railing beside her. "Yeah, if you hadn't stopped that day." "But I did," he said gently. She exhaled, then laughed softly. "I'm glad you did." Their hands brushed. Neither pulled away. The fire had taken a building, scarred his body, shaken her world to its core. But in the ashes of that destruction, something unexpected had grown, fragile, tentative, real. And for the first time in a long while, Ethan allowed himself to believe that maybe, just maybe, saving lives wasn't the only thing fire could give him.